Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. Doing great. It's a beautiful morning here today, so can't complain too much.
Now, where are you?
I am in Steamboat Springs in northern Colorado, and you know, pretty spectacular up here. Nice and 50 degrees in the morning. Can't beat that. And 80 to 80 is a high, so should be a fun week hanging out with the family.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. How about yourself? How are things
So
going in
we're,
California?
oh, all is well.
Good. Good.
So today we're talking about what, Ray?
We're talking about resilience and why we think that's a bit of it's a superpower. I think when I started looking into it a little bit, I'm going, well, I mean, really to be successful in anything, especially in corporate America, you've got to have a lot of resilience and ability to adapt. And I think that really is one of the things that folks need to really think about as they develop their careers.
Yeah, resiliency is one of those things that's super important.
Yep. Nope. Agreed. I think that the way we kind of have to look at it is kind of personal resilience, professional resilience, because there is a lot of difference between kind of those two and how you benefit from it.
The thing about resilience is a lot of times you could just force yourself to go to, into a hole, to get depressed, to get
Mhm.
upset, and not figure out how to dig yourself out of that mess.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean the mental aspect of resilience is so huge. If you don't have resilience, I think that you have a hard time managing your stress. Uh, your emotional stability, I think, is definitely a challenge. And I think one of the things that you lose is that optimism, because you've got to think that things are going to get better mentally, or else you kind of get into a big hole, like you said.
Yeah, if you just allow yourself to wallow in despair, it's pretty hard.
Yeah, no, it is, and I think that organizations can fall into that too to a certain degree. But I think the mental health part of it is important. The other part that I think that's really critical is being adaptable. And if you're too rigid and you can't adapt to change, I think being resilient helps you be more adaptable in how you look at problems and handle problems.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, being able to look at problems from a multiple perspective and figuring out, hey, is there three different ways to tackle this challenge?
Yep, exactly. And I think the other part too on adaptability is, you know, to be able to be effective, you've got to be flexible, um, and you've got to be empathetic, uh, and you got to be able to have confidence, and kind of and show that empathy and confidence in dealing with your peers and dealing with folks that are higher level than you are. Because if you don't, you can kind of get stuck and not progress. And that's the other part of it that's a real challenge with folks that aren't resilient and don't think about those things because, I mean, you and I have been in situations where, you know, we're not flexible enough. We may, because of our flexibility, we're able to adapt, challenge a problem or take on a problem. Uh, whereas, if we were not flexible and we're saying, no, I don't do that, I don't want to learn that, we wouldn't have progressed.
Yeah, nobody wants to deal with somebody who's crushed in spirit.
So true. I mean, we've all been asked, hey, can you take on this project or this problem? And and a lot of times we're like, well, what the hell is it? You have no idea what they're talking about, but you can learn and you can figure it out and you can make it work. But if you immediately go in negative, it's just never going to be positive. It's not going to be a positive outcome for you in your career, in your performance review, in that relationship with that leader that is asking you to help them.
And my issue is always when you had really difficult people that you had to deal with in the organization, and they just felt like they were on top of you,
Hmm.
and you could never do anything right, and you had to figure out how to respond from that.
Yeah, that's really tough. I mean, that's having having working for a leader, and we both work for leaders that are just micromanaging and questioning your decisions, and and not trusting that you're doing the right thing. It is really really difficult. To be it's tough to get up every morning and go into that situation. Uh, as they say, your company culture is how people feel on Sunday night about going to work on Monday morning. That and when you've got a culture where the leader that's a real problem, it is tough getting up in the morning on Monday and having to deal with that.
Well, then especially feeling you can't do anything right.
Hmm. Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. The other part of this, on a personal level, is empathy, and having empathy for your coworker, having empathy for somebody in their situation, is so important. And a lot of people call it emotional intelligence, whatever you want to call it. You either have it or you don't. And if you don't have empathy, it's really tough for your peers or your folks that work for you to be to supportive and to trust you. I mean, it all kind of comes down to trust.
Oh yeah, I mean, you want to be in a situation where people support you, where people recognize that you're having an issue, that you're having a bad day, and they figure out how to pull you up or mentor you or coach you in that perspective. There's nothing worse than in an organization where people just don't care about your personal well-being, or having a boss that
Yeah,
doesn't care about your personal
yeah,
well-being.
yeah, that is so true. And one of the other things that having um, resilience from a personal perspective is your physical health. Because if you're resilient, you can manage stress. I think you can cope better, um, and you can actually have a better, what I would call, quality of life and work-life balance. Because you've got to figure out when it's okay to cut off and focus on yourself and your family versus work. So I think that physical health is really important, and resilience helps you kind of have that balance and being able to, you know, to get outside and enjoy the sun.
Exactly. I've always tried to just let myself have an hour or a day of feeling
Mhm.
bad about the issue and then
Mhm.
rebound and say, I've got to hit it hard and fix it.
Mhm. Yep. Exactly. The other part of resilience that I think is important is around your work performance, or basically professional. Um, And I think that being resilient also helps you a lot in your productivity and the quality of work that you do, because having that open mindedness of looking at different perspectives to solve a problem, I think is huge. And I think folks that are resilient generally have good work performance and productivity. What do you think about the performance piece of it?
Oh, I agree. I mean, the faster you can recover from a setback, or you make a mistake in the organization, or you make a mistake in your job that seems to be overwhelming, the faster you can rebound from that and accept
Mm-mm.
that and move on, the better you're going to do long term in your career. If you go into a depression, you go into an inability to function every time you have something that goes wrong, it's not going to work.
Yeah, the other part too, I think, kind of going back into your career, uh, resilience, I think, equals career advancement. Being able to be a better leader, a more empathetic leader, as well as being adaptable and making changes when you have to make changes, so that you can be successful. And I think those are some of the traits of successful leaders. I mean, being able to adapt, make changes, and also uh, you know understand your team and what makes them tick, because not everybody's the same.
Yeah, I used to work for Fran Katsidas, who's
Yeah.
now the CHRO at Cisco.
Hmm.
And she always used to tell me that the biggest thing to do is you don't just figure out what the mistake was, you figure out why you made a mistake and how you don't do it again, and then how you handle it, how handle dealing with the mistake, and not so much focusing on the mistake, but focusing on how you handle it and how you improve.
Yep. So true. I think there were so many good leaders we had at Cisco that really, kind of pushed you and helped you kind of stretch, into bigger roles and more responsible roles. That was always a huge, huge positive. I mean, the most fun I ever had from a work perspective was working uh, with Steve Cadigan, and we had a large team, very, tight knit group, um, and he let us make mistakes and let us go out and experience and get the work done. And when there was an error or a mistake, he supported us in fixing it and moving forward. And I think that's the key. You want to be learning and you want to be pushed in your role. That way you can you can get better at your job.
Well, one of the things right now that people really need to be resilient about is in terms of job search,
Hmm.
because I see so many stories where people are just at the end of their rope about looking for a job and trying to
Yeah.
find something. They put out thousands of resumes and had hundreds of interviews, and they're not closing on any job that they've applied for. And it's really, really difficult for them.
Yeah, I would agree. I think right now is just a tough environment for folks that are out there looking for a job. Uh, you're right. Tons of horror stories, but also success stories too. I think a lot of people that are much more planful and targeted in their job search, uh, and focused on networking and finding opportunities within your network generally have a better, more of a success versus kind of papering, LinkedIn with your resume. I mean, that's really a tough thing to do. Uh, but yeah, it is tough. It's tough to have resilience in this environment right now, not only as a job seeker, but even if you're like us, if you're an entrepreneur, trying to find,
Oh, that's not
clients.
hard at all. You don't need resilience in that at all.
No, no, it's like the the ghosting that happens after you send out a proposal is amazing. Uh, if you're not resilient in this kind of a business, you don't need to be in this business because it is such a difficult time right now. We love our clients, but we also want more clients, as they say. But it's getting tougher and tougher to get folks to commit.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
it's difficult when people reject you, in any situation in life, whether it's
yeah,
in relationships, jobs, being an entrepreneur. Nobody wants to be rejected. Everybody wants to be accepted and loved,
yeah,
which
exactly.
is, the the why the Maslow's hierarchy of needs exists.
So true. Um, the other thing I think from a resilience perspective, I think it helps you with innovation and creativity, uh, because I mean, if it wasn't for the resilience that we have in our business, we would never have gone into AI, or we have never gone into being a search firm, or some of the lines of business that we've gone into, and just kind of that innovation and creativity, opens up a lot of avenues. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean that's a really good point. In fact, actually, one of the folks that's on our call right now, or actually on the feed right now, is Adam Korn, who does our safety and security vertical. And Adam and I met yesterday.
Hmm.
And one of the things that we talked about was the fact that in this business, you need to be very, very resilient, and you need to be very adaptable. Something that you tried in a business perspective may not work, and you've got to go and try something different, and you have to move fast at it, and you can't get tied to your idea saying this is a really great idea, we're doing this idea, and then the idea goes down with the ship with you and you fail.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
because you weren't able to change and pivot.
No, it's true. It is so true. I think the other part of resilience, I think that's really important is, um, you know, it helps you with your job satisfaction and your engagement, in what you do on a day-to-day basis. Because, if you're resilient and you've got that kind of forward-thinking, optimist approach, you know, it's going to get better. You're going to be able to solve the problem. Keep your clients happy, keep your customers happy. That's really got to be the focus of kind of growing your career on a personal basis.
So Adam wrote in the chat that he likes the word equanimity.
Equa what?
Equanimity. E Q A
Equanimity.
N I M I T Y.
Oh, I like that one. Yeah. Well, good. No, no. I think that you've got to think about different ways from a resilience perspective to make your situation better. And I think that folks that have that kind of resiliency gene, understand how to get that done, how to do that.
And it's hard. Adam was talking to us again,
Yeah.
referencing Adam for our conversation yesterday. We talked about a family member of his that's really resilient. We have a member of our team, Jen Morris, who's one of the most resilient people I've ever met in my life. She's had a number of things that have happened, and she always bounces back. She always finds a way to be resilient. She's amazing.
Yep. No, we do. I mean, there are so many, folks that we work with on our team, um, and they all have their own personal stories of challenges, and how they've been able to beat them. And if you're not, you know, willing to spend time talking to them and hearing their situation, um, it's such a blessing from my perspective. I think it's a blessing to understand, you know, their life story and some of the challenges that they've gone through to get to where they are today. And like you said, Jen, we've got Ann on our team. We've
Oh,
got
and yeah,
Kelly.
too.
We've got
Yeah.
Kelly on our team, who is just an unbelievable, provider for her parents. Heather, on our team, who has got kind of a great family and all kinds of does great things for her daughter. So yeah, so it's just we got a lot of great stories just within our small Thrive community, and we've got to be appreciative of that because those are everywhere.
Well, Adam did us a
Mhm.
solid and provided us with the definition of equanimity because we didn't really define it really well. So here it is: mental calmness, composure, and evenness of temper, is especially in a difficult situation. And here's how you use it. She accepted both the good and the bad with equanimity.
I love it.
Good
I mean,
word.
men, good word, mental composure. I love the mental composure in during times of stress. That's not easy to do. That's a tough
And
one.
I love that Adam gave us the definition as he saw us struggling exactly with what the definition was. So
Hell, I
that
couldn't
was
even spell
definitely
the
the
word.
resilient for us.
That's awesome. Thank you very much, Adam. You saved us on that one.
Exactly.
Oh,
There's
fantastic.
another good book out there if you're interested about resilience, and probably most of you have read it, but if you haven't, it's a great read, is Unbroken. And if you've
Hmm.
never read
Hmm.
that book, it is basically the guide to how to be resilient in life.
That sounds great.
And it's a true story of an Olympian who was in World War II, who was captured during the war and had to bail out of a plane,
Oh,
and how
wow.
he didn't win in the Olympics. It's an amazing book. So if you get a chance,
Oh,
read it by
awesome.
Anne Hilbrand.
Yeah. Great. Great. All right. Well, good. Good. Well, we are, really excited about working with some of our new clients, and looking forward to working with more clients. So, uh, Jason, how is the best way for folks to track us down?
Well, the best way to do it is to do this. Oh, wait, or to do this one.
Is that the,
If you want to get a hold of me, it's Jason at Thrive at HR Consulting.
fantastic? And if you want to get a hold of me, it's Ray, REY, at thrivehrconsulting.com. And also we've got Heather Simmons, which is our head of operations, also at thrivehrconsulting.com. So those are the three emails to track us down. And then you can
And
also
it's amazing how much
hit our
smoother
website.
our show runs when Heather's here.
It is amazing.
So we'll
Yeah,
have
she will be on the show next time. But yeah, please check out our website. We've got phone numbers on there. Our cell phone numbers are available.
here's our
As
here's our number.
Yep, and our 888 number right here. And please, check out our LinkedIn site. We've got some great new posts. We've got a new relationship with Integratech, a fantastic software company, focuses on development of talent, as well as Holly Castro, which is one of our new advisors. On the site.
Yeah, more about Holly's connection with us down the road. But yeah, we're super excited to have her work with us.
Fantastic. All right. Well, everybody have a great
All right.
day.
Well, everybody have a great Wednesday, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Take care. All right. Bye
All
bye.
right. Thanks. Bye.